everyone, welcome back to Plum Mashable. So for today's video I'm going to be showing my updated catalogue system for my lawn fawn stamps. So let's go ahead and have a look. Okay, I'm 90% done. It's not quite finished, and that's only because these are my standard size lawn fawn ones. I do have a few lawn fawn stamps and dies that fit in like my bigger containers. Actually, hold on, I'll just show you. So these are the tubs that I keep all of my lawn fawn in. I have 4 of these for my standard lawn fawn. Yes, I have a lot. And then I have 2 that are for, one's for Uniquely Creative, and then one is for everything else. So that's where Concord and Ninth, Avery L, Simon Says Stamp, all those ones, they all live in there. Lawn fawn get their own tubs because obviously I have so much of it. So this is the standard size ones. These are the Avery L standard, I think the standard large. I didn't think I'd be getting into this large stamp pockets. And just with a piece of white cardboard, and I put the label on just with my label maker. My label maker is a Dymo Letra Tag. I love this one, and I just use the white paper insert. I don't like the plastic. I always avoid plastic. And these are just all in alphabetical order. I find for me, alphabetical works better than by theme or by anything else, because I do like to mix my themes up a bit. So I'm just putting this back. Happy Howl, happy hugs, happy howl. So that's where the standard ones live. The large ones, and there's not so much of these ones, but the large ones live, I have 3 of these, sorry, I used to have 2. 2 of these big tubs, and they just again live alphabetically. I don't have too much lawn fawn that goes in here. It's mainly the interactive dies, so like the center picture window, the Flippin' Awesome, the slimline sliders and stuff, magic picture changer, those kind of ones. They all live in here. The real only stamp set is the Seasons Tweetings one, which is an old, as you can tell, Simon Says Stamp Timbre exclusive. But I haven't done these ones yet. I will, I just haven't done it yet. So each of my little catalogues here line up with my containers. So I have A to F, G to O, P to S, and then T to Z. It doesn't work out perfectly, but it's about what fits in the container, and that's how I've kind of done it. So I hope that makes sense. What I've done with these, so my old system, very, very similar. I used to have 2, and I'll tell you the changes that I made. So the first change is I've gone from 5 to, I think it's 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, there we go, 8. 2 reasons for that. Number 1, that's what my punch does. And number 2, that's what my punch does. It's just number 1. So things that I found were a problem. Let's go through the old system, and you can go and check out the video. I'll link it down below where I go through the entire system, and I'll tell you what was wrong with it. Number 1, it had 5 rings, and that 5 wasn't standard. So it didn't matter what I did. I had to always mark it, punch it, and do it one by one. Took a really long time, and I could never make it accurate. So the problem if I do this is that it's actually really hard to go through these, and it's therefore something I don't lean for, because it is difficult. It's so hard to pull out. It's so hard to, even just doing it now is actually making me really cranky. So I wanted to make sure that I got a better system than that. The second thing that was wrong with this is that I did this on cardstock. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it was just too thick. I didn't need it to be on cardstock. Paper would be fine. So this was just the Quill 200 GSM that I usually use. I just didn't need that, and it became bulky very quickly. I think the metal rings are better, but the plastic rings work fine in the new one, and the plastic rings are cheaper. So that's where we went to with that. So the ways that I've made this better. Number 1, I invested in a punch. The single one works. It does. It's great. But it doesn't give me the accuracy that this does. So all I did, this is the big one. I think that's what it's called. I don't remember. It's the big one. It was the mega one. I could have just got the standard one. I decided that it would be easy just to get the big one. That way if I wanted to go to an A4 at any point, I could. And all I did was I put a little bit of washi tape where I wanted that sort of to line up, and that way every single time I line it up with that tape, it is always going to be right, it is always going to be the same, and it means that when I go to actually use these catalogues, they work. So that was an investment. These aren't cheap. I wish they were, especially for someone that doesn't predominantly use rings. I've basically bought this for no other reason than doing my catalogues, but I feel like it was a really good investment, saved me a lot of time, and I could obviously punch all 8 holes at once and it'd always be right. Second thing I did was, instead of having a laminated cover, which works like it does, it did really no different, I decided instead to have one of these plastic ones. So these are from Made Paper Co. They are a pack of 2. You get the front and the back, and they're in the clear design. She also has frosted, and these are the half letter size. What that means is that it is slightly different, like slightly bigger on the top than on the bottom, but not by much, and it doesn't bother me in the slightest. I actually think it's kind of cool to have an extra little bit at the top. The cover itself is no different than before, it's just not laminated. I could laminate this and it would be fine. Best thing is it would fit straight back in the hole punch and it would work. I just decided to leave it unlaminated because I don't really mind. The cover works. Coloured the front in, and what I've done is each cover, and I have front and back, I'll show you in just a minute, has the corresponding stamps from that tub. So this one is A to F. So this is using all stamps from A to F. So even if I didn't put this, I could look at that and go, okay, well that's from Fantastic Friends. So I know it's going to be in this one because it's sort of like a helping. Little Sparkle, Bar Humbug, etc, etc. So on the back, I've just put some pattern paper. Personal preference, you could do whatever you like. I just don't like the bleed through. And then just in the A is where I keep this little pocket. So what this is my kind of key. The other part of this that I still want to do that I haven't done yet is a bit of a, like an index. I've done it on my laptop. I just haven't found a way to bring it out into the real world. And what that's got is every time there's a stamp with a mouse, it's been catalogued. So if I want to do a card with mice, I can look at that and go, okay, well I can find them in A Creature Was Stirring, Bubbles of Joy, and Absolutely Awesome, etc. But this is my kind of key that is working at the moment. So if it's got a little blue dot at the top, it's a stamp and die combo, and I have both. If it's green, it's just a standalone die, and I'll show you those in a sec. If it's a purple, it's a standalone stamp, and if it's a pink, which is new, it's a foil plate. So that's just how I can tell the difference when I'm going through all of these and how I've kind of catalogued it. And I keep those stamps, those stickers in here, so that way I know where they are. So I put these onto paper this time. It is still nice paper. It's still 110, 120 GSM paper. It's still nice. But as you can see, it is so much easier to go through this. It's not sticking. It's not causing problems. It's just going. So it's really, really easy to use. And as you can see, you've got your... I'll actually show you that one in a sec. You've got your stamp and die combos. I'm going to find something else. Stamp and die combo. You've got your foil, and I just foiled the whole page and stuck it in. You've got your standalone die set, and then I don't think there's a standalone stamp set in this. Yes, there is. Dad jokes. Oh no, that's got a die set. Don't even think I can find one. To be fair, there's not a lot of them. There's not a lot of them. Anyway, doesn't really matter, but that's how it works. I just put the title at the top. I don't need to put Lawn Fawn with this like I do in here. It can just be the title on the top. And it's just so I can see at a glance what they are. Now, when I stamp these all out, just to be able to show you. So hold on, I'll show you the covers in a sec. All I did, so you can see here from done before and afters, I put it in backwards. Goodness me, what a bad example. All I didn't take any of these off. The thing that would take ages with this is if you took every single stamp set off. But as you can see, I've just stuck it like that. And all I did was I put it in my Misty, which needs to be cleaned. I have it marked out where this was, stuck it, stamped it, done. Like it was really, it's a very simple process. And what I made sure I did is used my VersaFine ink, which is a little bit easier, not easier to use, but gives me a better impression with just one stamp than my Hero Watts one does. And because these aren't getting coloured in, I don't need to worry about what medium and if it might bleed. So just going back to that A and F, I'll just give you a really good look at the covers. So that first one, all of the labels, nameplates, I guess, are the same. They're just cut out of white cardstock, cut out with, I think it's Finley's ABCs, and stuck down. Very, very simple. Just made, when I stamped it out, I made sure I left a gap so that I didn't cover anything up. I still ended up covering one up. So like I said, this one's got all from A to F. So you've got one from Berry Special, you've got Bubbles of Joy, Booyah, I love Booyah. And then on the back I've got Costume Party, Big Thanks, Ahoy Matey, all the ones that make me happy. I just picked out my favourite characters from all of them. This is G to O. So we've got Ocean Shelfie, yeah, Shelfie, it is Shelfie. Monster Mash, I Like You a Lottle, Monkeys, I can't remember what the monkeys are called, but anyway. And then on the back I've got some reindeer, I've got the flower, I've got the bees. Oh, I love the bees. And I've just coloured them in however I felt like. I actually inverted that cow. I felt like just doing something different. This one's P to S, so I've got some more of the skunks, some little seahorses. My Copic got away from me, my orange was a little juicy, and rather than freaking out about it and changing it, I just left it because it didn't really bother me that there was a little bit of splat. And the same thing here on the back, I've got all the critters. This one I actually don't like as much because I didn't go off, but I do still love it. And then last but not least, I've got T to Z. I've got my beautiful Wild For You, unicorns, I love my Yetis, more turtles. And then on the back, I've got the Really Great Day. And I tried to use the same colours the whole way through. So if you have a look at it, I actually kind of keep the same kind of colour palette as a general rule. But yeah, they were how I sorted all of those out. Now the only other thing I added, so last time I just did just the stamps. This time I added dies as well. And what I did for those was I cut out, I cut them all out of black paper. Because that way I've got all like... maximum contrast and I can see exactly what's included in each one. So you see here with the palm tree border, I've got all of those. You can also see for these ones I didn't use my VersaFine, I used my Hero Arts. And this was the first one I did and I found it was taking too long, which is why I went to the VersaFine for the rest. There you go, standalone stamps. I knew I had somewhere. But then the ones like these are really good. The Ready, Set, Shake and then the Reveal Wheel. I cut out, so everything you get in here, but I also put in the reverse. So you get this little one, but you also get this, and this is the point. That's the window. So that was so I could just sort of see what I got with each of it. And I just put the add-ons in all together, and I can add extra pages if I get any more of them. If I had like the little ones, the add-on sizes I kept in together. But if it was like ones that were a bit smaller, I put them on the same page if I could fit them, just to save some room. The slide on overs I did like a square and then cut all of them out so I could see what I was getting. And I'm trying to find, these ones were hard. Forget how many little bits you get with all of these ones. But it's that way I can just sort of look at it and go, okay, well I'm trying to find, like this is everything you get in the Stitch Rainbow. And sometimes when you think about the Stitch Rainbow die set, you just think of the actual rainbow, but you forget you've got the clouds, and you've got the clouds that then have the smiley faces in them, and you can use them either or. So it was about having everything there that I could see and go, yeah, that's exactly what that looks like. That's exactly the size of it. Means I don't need to go digging in here. I can just come here. So I hope that answers everything about the new catalogue system. I do, like I said, want to finish it off for the rest of this, but I also want to do it for all of my other stamps and dies, and that's where perhaps I might need to go to an A4. I think that's okay. I like cataloguing. I like organising. I'm one of these weird people that enjoys it. If you don't, I completely get that. If you don't have as much lawn fawn as me, you probably don't need a system like this, but when you do have so much and it's about sort of trying to keep using them, it's something else too that I'm going to do, and I'll be able to explain a little bit more about this in a couple of days. I can have little post-it notes on the back. So this is an example of something that's a little different. So admit one, I don't have the stamp set, I have the die set, I borrowed the stamp from someone and I cut out a bunch, like stamped out a bunch, and I have them so I can use them. But I don't actually have the stamp set. But I wanted it to be in here so I could see it. And on the back, I just have a post-it note that tells me that. But what I want to be able to do here is go through all of these, and whether it's draw sketches, whether it's put ideas, whether it's stick photo, like screenshots and stick little ideas in here. Those are the things that I want to sort of do, and why I love having something I can hold on to, because I can just sort of flick through here and go, okay, yep, butterfly kiss. Oh, butterfly kiss. It's one of my favorites. What do I want to do with this? Okay, there's some ideas. Or it's sort of that kind of system, as much as it is a way to tell what I've got. It's also a way to help me use what I have a little bit more by giving me more opportunities to actually think about what I have and how I want to use it. I also love that I can have sentiments, like I can look through here and go, okay, well, I'm trying to find something that says happy birthday. So easy. So I've got no. And this is so much easier than pulling it in there, like pulling it out of there. Happy birthday. Oh, look, I found it. And this is so much easier than flicking through here. And it's also probably a little bit, you know, I don't have to carry that huge big thing out every single time. If you do have any questions about my system, please let me know. You can leave it down below and I will get to you as quick as I can. Failing that, you can get me on social media. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. You can find me there. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I know it's just an update. It's nothing fancy, but it is highly requested, and that video is one of my most popular. So I figured it was a really good time to revisit it. I will link everything down below that I've used to make these. So if you do want to grab them yourself and do a similar system, I'd be really flattered. But I think you'll find it very helpful. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will catch you again in my next video. Sending lots of huggles. Bye!